Hey folks, it's Sally Riggs here again, travel advisor for folks with chronic illness. And today I wanted to talk to you about flying with chronic illness and specifically my flight to Japan this summer on Japan Airlines in first class. I always book first or business class flights for long haul because when you live with chronic illness, flying economy just isn't an option. Flying puts a huge strain on the body, pressure changes, low oxygen, dry air, hours sitting, and all of these can have a huge impact on your body and your nervous system and potentially can set you back for weeks in your recovery. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, that's fine for her, she can book first class, I don't have that kind of money, neither do I. I use points and miles, and I'm just like you, a regular person trying to earn regular money and not always succeeding and needing to use points and miles from my credit cards to offset the significant cost of flying. So in this video, I'm going to show you what it was like to fly first class with JAL, including check-in, the lounge, the plane, the meals, and that fabulous lie flat suite with a door that closes and the bed. And stay tuned, because if you want to know how to do this too, in the second half of the video I break down exactly how I booked it. And if you're quick and you watch this video the minute it drops, there is live availability of flights that you could book next June if you were wanting to do the same flight. One of the other things I want to highlight, which you will see in this video, is that flying for 14 hours, there's no way I could do that without eating or drinking. And obviously, in order to eat and drink on an airplane, you have to take off your mask, and that is incredibly high risk. That is one of the reasons why I like to travel at the front of the plane, where there is a door that I can close. And in this case, flying with JAL meant Japanese flight attendants who immediately saw my mask and put on their own masks too. That means that throughout the flight, I didn't come into contact with a single person who wasn't masked, and neither did my food, which significantly reduces my risk of infection. In addition, I also do use a portable HEPA filter, which you may also see in some of the shots. And then finally, I want to say that if you watch this video and it feels like learning how to do points and miles is just too much for you, but you really would love to use your credit card points in order to fly in this way, please don't despair. I do offer a booking service for a small fee that I can look up these types of award availability for you. If you just let me know what type of points you have and how many, I can definitely search for where you might want to be going or tell you options that are available to you if you're looking for ideas. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you have a tolerable week. Take care. Oh, first class check-in, and the best part of any check-in with JAL is that when they open check-in, everybody lines up and bows to you. Now, unfortunately, the men mending the conveyor belt are somewhat in the way here, but I did endeavor to capture that fun moment. Then I was third in line to check in. They got me into a wheelchair very quickly, and here I am on the way to the Soho Lounge. Now, this is never going to be as fancy as the JAL First Class Lounge at Narita or Haneda, but it's definitely a step up from the Greenwich Lounge that I have been to many times. It was very quiet, tranquil. I had a great spot to sit, and there was a wonderful choice of food, both buffet style to help yourself to and cold sandwiches. And you could also order a la carte to be delivered to your table. I always try and find a quiet spot with a high back chair where I can sit fairly close to the food, and this is the spot that I picked. Here is a selection of the food that I ate. I'm always a sucker for soup, and some video of the options. Generally, I just found this such a pleasant experience compared to the Greenwich Lounge, which can be very busy and very loud at times. And I've eaten the food in there 1,000 times, so it was nice to have a change of something slightly different. So all in all, a very good experience, calm, restful before getting on the plane, and especially as I had had a hectic few days, it was very much what I needed. I don't have a huge appetite and I can get nauseous quite quickly, so I find lounge food very helpful because you can just graze. Look at this yummy pudding that I helped myself to, the banana one with some chocolate and cream. Then it was on to the main event, this absolutely stunning suite that I get to sit in for the next 14 hours. Not only incredibly comfortable, but also has a door that closes, which is so important for us. Not long after takeoff, they served this beautiful meal. Now, I cannot go 14 hours without eating or drinking, and this is another one of the reasons why I try and fly up the front of the plane with a suite with a door. The flight attendants were completely understanding of that. They kept the door closed at all times. Then when they brought the food, they were also wearing a mask. Then I was pretty tired at that point, so I asked the flight attendant to make the bed up into a bed, and she brought me a fabulously comfortable firm mattress and a duvet and a couple of pillows. Now, the other thing that's great about these type of lie flat seats is they're infinitely adjustable, so you actually don't have to fly completely flat, which I find very uncomfortable. I can have myself very high and supported there, and at various points I also had my legs up, which was also incredibly comfortable. Then when I got hungry again a bit later, I had that delicious curry, which I took an awful picture of, and then my dessert with some green tea, and then those noodles. Now, obviously not all at once. I did space it out in between napping. Now, here's the amenity kit, which has all of the usual stuff in it, but this is the icing on the cake. If you know, you know. So the all-important question, how much did it cost? Well, it was 135,000 Cathay Pacific points and then some carrier taxes and fees, which in total came out to 2,031 Hong Kong dollars. How much is that in American? Turns out it's $260. So the all-important question, how did I book it? Well, I flew on JAL, but until recently JAL wasn't all that easy to book directly on. But you need to know your alliances. This is One World, and what that means is that you can book on Alaska or American or British Airways or Cathay Pacific looking for a Japan Airlines seat. In fact, you may even be able to book on Qatar or some of these other ones. What I did was Cathay Pacific, and I will show you how I did that. So seats to Japan are popular and they get booked up as soon as award availability drops. So you need to be aware of which airline releases tickets how far in advance, and you can figure that out by Googling how far in advance do airlines drop tickets. I came up with this award wallet article, and here is a chart. You can see that British Airways and Cathay Pacific release seats first, and then Alaska and American have more availability later. Tickets may be cheaper on Alaska and American, but they may already all have gone if people have snapped them up. So first of all, let's look at British Airways, which supposedly releases them first. You go to the Book Flights with Avios page and you type in the search that you want to do. And then we want to go to the furthest point out on the award chart, which when I searched on June 22nd, as you can see there, was June 11th of 2026. And you can see it won't let me pick a number any further out, so we just picked that one. And let's see if there's anything available. And we're looking at one-way flights only. No, I don't want to stop over. I'd like to go directly, please. So it's pulled me into June 10th, which it often does with the award search, and already you can see that none of the JAL flights have business class available. They've already been snapped up. If you want to go on British Airways via London, there's lots of business class left, but that's not going to be very exciting. Let's try the 11th, which was what we were actually originally trying to look at. Are there any seats on that day? And again, no business class, and we were actually looking for first, so it's not showing anything except for economy. Okay, I wonder whether there's anything on the Tuesday or the Monday. Let's see. Nope. And this is literally the search that I did. So I always start with British Airways because I have tons of Avios because I fly with them all the time, that I wouldn't even need to do a transfer. I just have the points in my bank, as it were. But you can see here that there's nothing. So then we go to Cathay Pacific and we log into their points program and we do the same award search, JFK to Haneda. Pick our return date. We're doing one way. This one you do actually have to select the cabin, and I'm going to pick first because that's what I flew and that's what I'm showing you how to book. And then let's see how far out the departure date. That article suggested that it was going to be maybe June 10th, but actually when we scroll through here, it's taking us to June 17th. So actually Cathay Pacific is doing further out than British Airways. So let's see what they've got here. Hit the redeem flights button. And there we are right away. It's suggesting they do have first class flights for 160,000 points. When you scroll down, actually, it's 135. And in a second, we'll see the taxes and fees. Now, this is the flight I took, the one at 1:40, because that arrives in the afternoon. If I hit the next button, it's going to tell me that I don't have enough points in the bank. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you can see 135,000 points and HKD 1578, which came out to about $260. Let's see if there's anything on any of the other days. Look at that. The Tuesday, they've also got both flights, the middle of the night one and the one at 1:40 in the afternoon. And this is live. I did this award search on my Sunday, June the 22nd, which would have been Saturday the 21st in America. So these flights might still be there if you want to grab them for next year. On the Sunday, they've only got the middle of the night flight. And then Saturday the 13th, obviously Saturdays are more popular, and Sundays. Now, if we go back to the Wednesday one, the other important consideration is you want to look at what is the aeroplane that is flying, i.e. the specific aircraft, and it says the A350-1000. Now, I am awful at remembering aircraft. Is this the new one that has the suites with doors? Or is it the old one? Still absolutely lovely, but we'd quite like to know, does it have the suites with doors? So both are on those same aircraft. Now what you do is you go to aerolopa.com, and this shows you all of the aircraft kind of pictures, like a drawing. So here we're looking for A350-1000, and if you scroll down, you can see this is the first class, and these are very clearly the suites with doors. Now, I was in 2A, and that is an excellent seat because you can see across from me, 2D, there is a partition. I am not breathing in the air of the person who sits there. So you've got the two seats at the front that kind of go together, two seats at the back that kind of go together, and then the single ones, if you're traveling by yourself, are even better. If you're in business, this is what the business class seats look like, the new ones, also with closing doors, also a great option. So if I don't have Cathay Pacific points, where do I get them from? Well, I transfer them from my American Express. You go here to earn and redeem, and you click on transfer points. This brings you through to another page that lists out all their transfer partners, and you can see Cathay Pacific is one of them. And I have already linked my account because I have done this many times to fly to Japan. And they transfer at 1-to-1, 1,000 points to 1,000 points. I need 135,000. I've got plenty. That will be no problem transferring them across. You can see they also transfer to all these other programs that you may be interested to buy flights through those programs, and the list goes on and on and on. And if you want to transfer, obviously you're going to click this button here. But Sally, what if I don't have American Express rewards points? Let's Google what other banks transfer to Cathay Pacific. We've got Capital One, that'll be your Venture X or Venture. Citi Thank You Rewards, that'll be your Strata card, or Built Rewards. And these are all transferring at the same 1-to-1 ratio. I hope you found this video helpful in explaining how we can use points and miles to leverage first and business class seats that make flying much more tolerable to our bodies and much more comfortable for us. If you would like to know more, let me know. I can point you in the direction of places to read, videos to watch to learn more about points and miles. And if you would like me to book something, just reach out. I hope you have a tolerable week. Take care.